Hey, what's up everybody? It's Maha. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is something I've always wanted to do, so thank you for coming and watching this video, and hopefully you like it and hopefully you'll come back and watch some more. So if you don't mind subscribing to me, that would be cool. I do plan on making more videos, and let's just see what happens, I guess. Today I'm going to be talking about how I met Kanye West and then how I failed immediately afterwards. And so the point of this video really is to hopefully give you some kind of knowledge and insight to maybe help you achieve some of your goals and dreams, and then also give you a good preventative measure to not repeat the same mistake that I made afterwards, so that you don't fail after accomplishing something, because it happens, and it happens a lot. So anyway, basically starting in like 2019, Kanye was super active on Twitter. At this point in time, I had already painted like 20 paintings of Kanye West, because Kanye's been my favorite artist since I was like 10 years old, like no joke. When I was 10, my brother played Through the Wire for me, and I just remember like this was like the greatest song to me as a kid. I was like, this dude is crazy. And then I remember watching like all of like Kanye's college dropout music videos on MTV growing up, like the Jesus Walks video. I grew up Christian, and so like Jesus Walks was like such a cool like thing, like this cool rapper is making a song about Jesus. I basically just grew up like Kanye. He was like my favorite artist, and he had consistently stayed my favorite artist because he kept dropping good stuff. Anyway, Kanye was my favorite artist. I painted him a ton of times, and he was going crazy on Twitter, and I basically just said to myself, like, every time he tweets, I'm gonna immediately reply to his tweet with one of my paintings and hope that he sees it. That basically became like my goal, was like, I'm gonna get Kanye to see my paintings, and I'm gonna get him hopefully to acknowledge him. And so that's what I did. I put notifications on Twitter so that every time he tweeted, I hit him up immediately. Like I stopped what I was doing, pulled my phone out, and then just sent a picture of one of my paintings to him. Over time, he started to like the tweets of my paintings, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then I kept doing it. Like, I didn't just stop there. Then he started reposting them, and he started posting these on his Twitter. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. This is awesome. But then the craziest part is, after a while, he started following me on Twitter. And I remember this day so clearly. I was up in my room, or up in my studio at my old house, and I was painting. I pull out my phone, refresh my Twitter, and I see Kanye West started following you. And I was like, oh shit, like this is crazy. Like there's no way, like, you know. And I was like, for a minute, I was like, this is definitely like a fake Kanye West account, you know, like how people just like copy the name and copy the profile picture. But I clicked on the page and it was legit Kanye West, and it said Kanye West follows you, and I was like, this shit is fucking crazy, man. That was so crazy to me that day. Like, I'm pretty sure I didn't even do nothing else the rest of the day. I was just so damn hyped. He's banned on Twitter now though, and basically doesn't follow anybody anymore, but whatever. For a few years there, he only followed 200 people, and I was one of those people, and I'm very honored to have been one of those people. That was cool. So anyway, all that happened, and basically this is around the time Kanye is getting ready to drop Jesus is King. And so now I'm going to tell you like the most important part of the whole story, because this is how it actually happened. This is how I actually met him and how all of this happened. There's this book called The Master Key System by Charles Hanel. And if I know how to do this properly, I'll pull a picture up of the book like right here or something. And I would just very highly recommend reading this book. Okay, it's like a law of attraction book, and I hate using the words law of attraction because it's so like corny now. Like, it got super overused. It was everywhere, you know, and there was just so many books coming out about it, and there was the Secret and like all this stuff, and a lot of it's good stuff, but it really got overused and definitely got muddied up, and the true meaning behind it, I think, was lost, because, you know, there's people that just think like, oh yeah, I just gotta like say what I want to have happen and it's gonna happen. And well, let's be honest, that didn't work for a lot of people, because that's not how it worked. Anyway, this book is called The Master Key System, and this book, I think, is like 20 chapters, and at the end of every chapter, it gives you a meditation practice. something that you're supposed to do every single day for usually about a week to 2 weeks, but really until you mastered this step. Then you move on to the next chapter, and it's supposed to help you gain mastery over your mind. This is the book that I followed, and look, I credit this book for meeting Kanye West, because what I did was I decided my vision was going to be to meet Kanye West. Literally in the beginning of 2019, in January, I started practicing this book, and I visualized as clearly as I possibly could in my mind, physically shaking Kanye West's hand. And yeah, I know that shit's seems kind of weird, but this is this is my favorite artist of all time, and I wanted to meet him. So that's what I set my goal to be, and that's what I did. Every single day I did this, like religiously, like I believed it. And it's more than just visualizing it. It's like actually believing that what you are visualizing is not only going to come true, but is true. And there's a lot to it. So anybody who takes the time to read that book is going to understand what I now understand. I attribute that all to being the reason why Kanye started liking my stuff and retweeting my stuff and then following me, and then why I eventually ended up actually shaking his hand and meeting him. It's either that or it's all just a coincidence. Maybe it is. Maybe it's all just a big coincidence. It's really up to you what you want to believe. Okay, so we're leading up to Jesus is King coming out. I'm going to get back on track to the story. So I do a painting, a Jesus is King inspired painting of Kanye West. And no joke, while I'm doing this painting, I, in my mind, told myself this painting is going to be for Kanye West. And I believed that, like, for real. Like, usually when I would finish a painting, I would put it up for sale. But this time I finished this painting and I didn't put it up for sale. I put it in my room and I just put prints of it up. But the actual painting itself, I was like, I'm not selling this painting because I'm giving this to Kanye West. And I had no reason other than in my own mind to believe that this was going to happen. Finished the painting, set it aside, and I kept it there for months, couple months, until the time came where Kanye West announced that he was doing an opera. And the opera was called Nebuchadnezzar. And it was in Hollywood at the Hollywood Bowl. And I said, I'm going to this opera and I'm bringing the painting with me, and this is where I'm going to try to do it. This is where I'm going to give Kanye a painting. I hit up my guy Lalo and I was like, hey, you want to go see Kanye's opera in Hollywood? And Lalo's a big Kanye fan just like me, and he was like, shit, all right, yeah, sure. So we buy tickets to the opera, and then we buy flight tickets to Hollywood. So we bought our tickets to leave from Chicago at like 7 in the morning, and then our flight came back home to Chicago at like 9, or it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night that same day. So we were going to Hollywood for less than 24 hours. We were only going to be there from the morning, and then right after the show, have to get back on the flight and come back home. The day came, we get on the flight, go to Hollywood, and we're in Hollywood, and then there's this thing called Synchronicity. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically like coincidence, but only the idea is that it's not random. It's basically a meaningful coincidence. And even further is like all coincidences are meaningful. Like there's actually no such thing as just a random coincidence. It's like when you're thinking about somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, and then a second later they either call you or they drive past you and you're like, whoa, that was crazy, Maybe it's a coincidence, Maybe it doesn't mean anything and maybe it's random. Or maybe it's synchronicity. And the idea behind synchronicity is that we're all connected on a deeper level. And so things like this happen when our minds get in tune with each other. I don't know. I guess it's up to you to decide what you want to believe. Either way, now that you know what synchronicity is, we're in Hollywood. We're in an Uber. We're heading like downtown. We're heading down like near the venue. I'm pretty sure it's downtown. So we're in this Uber, and I'm just chilling on my phone, and I'm looking through my memories on Facebook. Like, it came up like a notification on my phone, like, oh, you have memories to look back on today. So I click on it, and it just so happens that on that day, on that exact day, I believe November 24th, a year ago from that day, 2 years ago from that day, 3 years ago from that day, and 4 years ago from that day, on that exact day, I painted Kanye West, which I was just like, this is crazy. Like, that's crazy. But that's not it. At that exact time, literally right after I point that out to Lalo, sitting next to me in the back seat, Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West comes on the radio. Then, at that exact time, I look up, and the street that we're on is West Boulevard, or West Street, or West Avenue. And I was like, this is just crazy, man. Like, all three of those things at the exact same time. And I was just like, me personally, I'm a very spiritual person. So I just take it, like, to me, I was like, this is a sign from God. Like, today is the day hey, like this is going to happen. Like I'm going to accomplish this goal. And that's just how I am. Like I take things as signs, and I don't care if you do or not. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. Your view of your life is your view of your life. Believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe, okay? And so anyway, we get downtown to the venue, and then the show was about to start, right? So we're going to get into the venue to go to the show. We got our tickets on our phones, and we go up to the first security gate, and I got the painting, and immediately they're like, you can't bring that in here. And I was like, no, like, yeah, right. Like, I'm bringing this in here. Like, you don't understand. Like, there's no way you're telling me I can't bring this in. And so I tried, like, pleading with these security officers, or like whatever they're called, the people that check you in and like, you know, wave you down with the wand and stuff. I'm telling them like, look guys, like I flew here all the way from Wisconsin to give Kanye this painting, and I'm determined to make this happen. I'm like, this is my dream, this is my goal, like I want this to happen more than anything. Like you've got to let me bring this painting in. And they were like cold and heartless, and they were just like, nope, like you're not bringing it in. And these were like some older folks, like I would say like they were like in their 50s, like, so they don't care about Kanye West, and they don't care about my dreams or nothing. They were like, you're not bringing it in, we're doing our job, you're not bringing it in. So I'm like, all right, sure. So me and Lalo walk back, and my plan was at this rate was, okay, I'm gonna take the canvas off of the wooden like stretcher board that it's on, and so I'm just gonna like pop it off, take all the staples out, and I'm just gonna roll the canvas up and stuff it down my pants and bring it in like that. And I was like, that's what I'm about to do. Like I'm getting this canvas in. Like there wasn't any stopping me. The canvas is pretty big. Like if it was a smaller canvas, I probably would have just like shoved it up my shirt or something. But so my plan was I'm about to take it right off the board and just roll it up and sneak it in like that. But luckily I didn't have to do that. Before I started to do that, like literally like I was just about to start doing that, I decided I was going to tweet at Kim Kardashian. Like I don't know what like made me like think of doing that, but that's what I did. So I sent a tweet. I was like, hey, Kim, I flew here all the way from Wisconsin with this painting that I want to give to Kanye. He's following me, and it would just mean the world to me if you can help me do this. And then like a second later, she replied to my tweet and was like, oh yeah, we'll come get the painting from you after the show. And I was like, damn, I'm about to shit my pants right now. Like this is not real. Like I've told Lalo, and he was like, whoa, dude, like what the fuck, bro? Like how? And I was like, I don't even know, dude. I don't know. So anyway, I'm like, all right, we're set. I don't have to take this canvas off the board anymore. I can just go, I'll bring it in. I'll show these security guards like, hey, look, you know, Kanye's wife said I could bring the painting in. So I go up there, I tell them like, look, Kim Kardashian just said I can bring the painting in. And they're still telling me, nope, you can't bring it in. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, dude, like the people running this show said I could bring it in, and you're sitting here telling me I can't. They're still being super hard-headed about it. So, and I'm like not going, you know, like I'm like, I don't like, I'm bringing this painting in. Like they already told me. So they call like the head of security over, and he's a dick, man. Like he don't give a fuck either. He didn't give a shit. But luckily I could like talk to him a little bit more, but he was still being a hardhead about it and was like, no, you can't bring it in, but you can go set it over in the security tent over there and we'll hold it for you. And if they come and ask you for the painting, then you can just come back over here and get it and bring it to them. And I'm like, man, all right, fine, whatever. So that's what I do. I go to the security tent, and then the guy working at the security tent is finally like the first young guy that I've seen there the whole time, and he's cool as fuck. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, look, Kim Kardashian said I'd give this painting to Kanye after the show, and he was like, dude, this is crazy, like, and he calls the head of security back over, and he's like, look, man, like, this guy's not lying. Head of security still ain't going. Anyway, I have to give my painting to the guy at the security tent, and he was cool as hell. And he was like, man, these people are fucking tripping, bro. I'm like, yeah, I know. So anyway, I let him hold it down. Luckily he was cool, because honestly I'm like, shit, hopefully nobody takes this painting, because that's just gonna ruin the whole thing. So we watch the show. The show was cool as hell. It's an opera. I've never seen an opera before, so I can't sit here and be a good critic of an opera. I don't know what an opera is supposed to be like. So whether it was good or bad, I'm not going to sit here and give it, you know, any number of stars, but it seemed good to me. It was about Nebuchadnezzar from the Bible, and I'll just quickly go over that story because I am a Christian and I do believe in the Bible, and so I liked the story. So basically the story is about Nebuchadnezzar, who is a king, and he was a really bad king. He wanted everybody to worship him and the statue, or maybe him or the statue, he had this really big statue. He made everybody bow down to it, and then he made a law that said if you don't bow down to the statue, when it's time to bow down to the statue, then we're going to throw you in this big pit of fire and burn you alive. And so basically everybody bowed down to the statue, because why the fuck would they want to get burned alive? Except for 3 guys. These 3 guys are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were like, we're not bowing down to the statue because we believe in God. And so they refused to bow down. And so after this law goes into effect, it's time to bow down to the statue. Everybody bows down, hundreds of people, maybe thousands. I don't know however many people were there at the time, except for these 3 guys. And they're just standing up, and it's obvious. Like, there's the 3 guys that aren't bowing down. They're all standing right there. And so they're like, all right, guess what, guys? It's about to get toasty. We're throwing you in the fire. And so Nebuchadnezzar gets them round up, and he's like, you guys should have bowed down to the statue, because now we're throwing you in this furnace. And they were like, well, we don't care, because we believe in God. We don't believe in a statue. And so he was like, all right, turn that furnace up 7 times hotter than it normally is, because these guys are not, like, they're just being smart, Alex. And so they turn the heat up on that thing 7 times hotter than normal, and they throw them in the fire. And they thought that was it, except for Nebuchadnezzar and his guys are looking into the fire, and then they see there's 4 guys in the fire instead of the 3 that they threw in. And they're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, why are there 4 guys instead of 3? So it turns out an angel of God goes and is in the fire with them to protect them from being burned alive. And so then they walk out of the fire, just Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And basically Nebuchadnezzar is like, damn, like, maybe our God is real, because I don't know how that could have possibly happened. And so basically Nebuchadnezzar changes his ways and starts obeying God and starts worshiping God. And that was the story. I'm pretty sure that, though, like, after a while, I'm pretty sure Nebuchadnezzar, like, started being a dick again and, like, stopped worshiping God, but I don't know. Anyway, that's what the opera was about, and it was cool, man. It was very artistic, and I had a good time there. I liked it a lot. Plus, I mean, I was pumped already, you know. I already knew, like, hey, like, after this show, I get to give this painting to Kim and Kanye, you know? Like, this is going to be crazy. So anyway, the show ends, and everybody's leaving the venue, and then there's just me and Lalo sitting there, and basically the whole thing is, like, empty at this rate, and we're just sitting in our seats, and I'm just like, damn, like, for real, like, they forgot about us, like, and it, like, honestly, like, part of me wasn't, like, that surprised. I'm like, yeah, like, it's Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, like, they forgot about us. They're probably, like, already halfway, like, they're probably gone too by now. But then all of a sudden, this big guy wearing a security shirt comes looking around over there, and we're just like ask him, like, oh, like, who are you looking for? And he was like, oh, we're looking for this artist, Mahasattva. And I was like, that's me. And he was like, that's you? And then I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, where's the painting at? And then I told him, I was like, security won't let me bring it in. It's over in this tent, which was, like, super far away from where we were. And he was like, well, you better run and go grab it, because you can give it to him. You can give it to us right now, but we're about to leave, so you better be quick. And I was like, fuck, like, all right. So we sprint, like, out of there, like, legit, like, weaving in and out of people that are, like, crowded in there. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I probably pushing people out of the way. Like, we dipped. We ran all the way to the security tent. I see the guy there, the cool guy, and he was like, oh, like, did they ever hit you up about the painting? I'm like, that's what I'm here for right now. And he was like, oh, shit. Like, turn around and grabs the painting, hands it to me, and then we run all the way back to the back part, like, behind the stage where the other security guard told us to meet him with the painting. And I'm, like, dead, like, tired, bro. Like, this was not a jog. This was, like, a sprint, and it was a far sprint. And so, like, I'm not, like, in that great a shape. And so I was super tired, like, sweating and out of breath when I get there. And luckily, the security guard was a nice guy and gave me a bottle of water and was like, here, like, so he told me to write down my name, my phone number, and email address on the back of the painting. And then he was like, all right, thank you, see ya. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I was like, all right, I guess that's it. Like, he made it like, all right, he's going in the back with the painting, and then that was it. And I was like, damn, well, I didn't get to meet Kanye. That sucks, but at least I got him the painting. So we left the venue, and we are, like, outside of the Hollywood Bowl now. I'm sitting on my phone, about to call an Uber, and then my phone starts ringing from this number, and I don't know who it is, but I'm like, all right, usually I don't answer for numbers that I don't know, but like since, we're in Hollywood and this is a California number calling, I'm like, I should probably answer this. So I pick up the phone and it's the security guard that we just left. And he was like, hey, like you need to run back here as fast as you can. And I'm like, all right. And I hang up the phone. Like, that was it. He didn't have to explain to me why. And part of me was also like, damn, like, I just got done running so much, and now I got to run even farther than I did before. And I was already dead from that run. So, like, fuck it, whatever. We're running. And it's uphill, too. Just to add to it. So, we dip back in through the gates all the way back to where we were before. And by this time, again, I am like dead tired, out of breath, and sweating my ass off. And I'm wearing a coat too, because since we're from Wisconsin and this is in November, I wore my coat there. It's not cold in California at this time. It was cold in Wisconsin, but so I'm wearing a coat while I'm sprinting in California up a hill. And finally get there. Security guard gave me some more water, which was very nice of him, I gotta say. And he's like, hey, like, you can come backstage. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. And I'm like, all right, come on, Lalo. And he was like, he can't come with you, which was bogus. So I felt pretty bad because I don't know why they wouldn't let me bring my friend with me, but they told me only I could come back there. And so I was like, damn, sorry, Lalo. And he was cool about it. Like, he didn't care. He thought it was just crazy. So he waits out there for me, and then I go in, and like literally as I walk in the door, it's Kim Kardashian standing right there. And she was like, oh, wow, like you did this painting? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And then honestly, like I wasn't that stoked to see Kim Kardashian. Like, that's cool and all, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a super fan of Kim Kardashian. I'm a Kanye West guy. Like, that's cool. Like, she was cool and nice to me and stuff, but I feel like she could see that I wasn't like that ecstatic about like meeting her. I was just like, oh yeah, like, I did this painting, thank you. She's holding it, and then she's like, oh, let me see if I can if Kanye will let you come back and meet him. And I'm like, all right, like like okay. And so she goes like back like down this hallway, and she's just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I hear her yelling my name. What? Like, all right. So like I'm like, all right. So I walk back to where she's yelling from, and then all I see is just Kanye standing there in this room, and I'm like, damn, this is crazy, bro. Like, I was like, felt like a dream. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And I see him in there, and I just walk in, I'm just like, yo, what's good, bro? I'd shake up with him and stuff, and man, it was just cool. He was cool, and he was like very soft spoken and chilling. I'm sure he was tired, but man, I was just like, so like, I've never been like starstruck like that before, but I was like, man, like I don't even know what to say right now. Like, and then Kim was like, oh, let me take a picture of you guys. Like, I didn't even want a picture, no joke. Like, I was just happy to be there. And so she took a picture on her phone and then sent it to me, or I think she sent it to her security guard, and then he sent it to me, obviously, because she don't want people having her number, obviously. But anyway, she took a picture of us with the painting, and then I was just like, man, like I could barely even get anything out. Like, I just said to Kanye, like, man, like you've been my favorite artist since I was 10 years old. Like, thank you, like, for letting me do this. And he was just like, yeah, like, you're welcome, It's super cool and super nice. Like, I wasn't back there that long or nothing. Like, we didn't sit and have a cup of tea or nothing. And I wasn't trying to be like intrusive either, like I wasn't trying to be like that. But I did tell him I want to work with him, and he said he was going to hit me up, but it's already been 4 years now. Maybe he's still waiting. He's probably still going to hit me up. I'm sure he will, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I met Kanye West, but then here's the part now that hopefully you guys can learn from. All of that, I think, happened because I visualized it, and because I believed in what I was visualizing, and I believed that it could happen, and I believed that it was going to happen. And then after it happened, I stopped meditating. Like, I came home and I was just like satisfied, with having met Kanye and with achieving this goal. And it was like I didn't continue to meditate, and I didn't set another goal. Like, I just kind of like left it there. It wasn't like I gave up or anything, but I didn't even like think of it, Like, I just kind of was like so like excited about accomplishing this goal that I didn't even like think of setting another goal. And so I stopped meditating. And then it just became like a habit of not meditating. And that happened for years, like basically up until now. And it's been almost 4 years now. And I'm just like coming to this realization that like, man, like the reason I accomplished that goal is because I set the goal and because I believed in the goal and because I visualized it and believed in it. And so anyway, I feel like now I know like what I got to do, you know, and hopefully like you can hear my story and know what you got to do. Like sometimes the hardest part is even knowing what you want, you know, but you got to pick something. You got to pick a goal, because if you don't, then you're just going to get what you get. And that's going to be it. And maybe you don't believe in all this stuff. Maybe you just think it's all a coincidence that I happen to be visualizing this and meeting him, and that none of the synchronicity stuff is true. Maybe your mind doesn't work that way and you think it's all just BS and it's all just a coincidence and I just met him on accident. I don't believe that. Not for a second. I believe that it all happened because it was meant to happen, and because this thing in my head and this mind that everybody has a mind and everybody has the ability to visualize. I believe that that's the key to anything. And so that's what it is, man. Go get that book, The Master Key System, and follow it, because it helped me to accomplish something that you would admit is probably very difficult to accomplish. I don't think that it's easy to go fly to Hollywood for less than 24 hours and get invited backstage to meet Kanye West. And this whole story is not about me bragging at all. Like, there's nothing special about me. I got the same mind power that everybody else has. And if you're watching this video, like, you can do probably 100 times crazier things than that. Like, it's just me meeting another human being, but just so happened to be like one of the most famous human beings on the planet. But still, like, I'm living proof that visualizing something and believing in it is a good recipe for making it happen. And so hopefully this inspires you, and hopefully you learn from my mistake, because when you accomplish a goal, the first thing you got to do is set another goal, because if you don't, then nothing's going to happen. And, you know, for the past 4 years, I've been sitting here thinking, like, why is nothing happening? I haven't had any goals, and I haven't been visualizing anything, and I haven't been striving for anything. And, well, I just want to say, like, right now I feel, like, re-sparked and re-energized. But anyway, I hope you like watching this video, and I hope you found it useful. I hope that you would consider subscribing to me, because I do want to do more videos. I've always wanted to be on YouTube, so, you know, I'm going to continue to make YouTube videos about other things. It's not always going to be this law of attraction stuff or whatever. I kind of feel like right now, like, since this is like the beginning of my YouTube, it's going to be kind of like a trial and error thing. And so I'm going to try a bunch of different stuff. And then whatever is popular to people, I'm just going to continue to do that type of stuff. Either way, I hope that you'll stick around and watch the videos that I've got coming. And I hope that they will be interesting to you. And I hope that you'll subscribe to me. I hope that you are having a great fucking day. And I hope that you believe in yourself and your dreams, and that you will try to do some stuff. Go get that book. And thank you for watching me. And thank you for giving me the time. And I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.